My name is Brian Moye. I'm the owner of Moye Construction Incorporated and BC Moye Consulting LLC. Basically, my background is I was a licensed insurance adjuster from 1990 through about 2003. I've had extensive experience in large loss estimating, was a master claims representative for the insurance companies back at during that time. Chose to decide to go on, move on, got my license for building contracting, and I'm a state licensed building contractor in the state of Florida. Have been doing that now for the past 7 years. Basically what I'm saying to y'all is we as a team put together the experience that we have in order to deal with hurricane style losses, flood style losses, to help everyone recover the money that they're needing to put them back to a pre-loss state. I've been involved in estimating projects from 6-unit condominiums to 6,000 unit neighborhoods. Have written estimates from anywhere to $500,000 to $100 million. Basically, in order to do that properly, I have to rely on several other professionals in the fields of engineering and glazing consulting, glazing professionals and representatives in order for me to do my job to put a package together for the folks to get what they deserve to put their house back into shape after such an event as Superstorm Sandy or a hurricane. I'm based in South Florida is where I'm from, so I'm very familiar with plenty of storm events. I've worked Hurricane Andrew from 1992 all the way up through Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Ike, Hurricane Wilma, Hurricane Charlie. Been around and involved in plenty of that kind of events. As an estimator for hurricane damage to individual homes, condominium buildings, high-rise office building, mid-rise condominium homes, attached carriage homes or coach homes, there's several different things that we need to do. First off, again, I have to rely on a licensed engineering professional and the structural engineer. Relying on a structural engineer is very important in what I do. I have to have someone put the causation to what I'm seeing as far as what repairs need to be made. Let me explain to you why you need an estimator in this entire process of getting monies recovered in order to put you back to a pre-loss condition in your structure, your home, your office building. You need an estimator to work with the other professionals, the engineer, the glazing professionals. You need that estimator to take the information that they give you, establishes the causation, establishes the particular damages that have occurred to the structure. The estimator has to take all that information along with codes, when the building was built, what kind of window systems you have, what kind of window systems are required. They have to be able to put that into a term through an estimate that can be understood by your insurance companies or through FEMA, because anyone can estimate damage to a building. You can have a guy come remodel your bathroom. He's just going to write down maybe 2 or 3 lines what it's going to take to get that estimate completed. An insurance company will not accept that kind of an estimate. You have to have the proper tools at your disposal in order to compare apples to apples. You have to have an estimating program that the insurance company is familiar with, that they can basically take and put in their hand and say, okay, I understand this format. We know how this is looking. Now it's a matter of getting the money right because you have the same style. Let me explain to you what an estimator will do once they get to your property. They're going to take the report from a professional engineer. If there's windows involved, they're going to get a report from the glazing professionals. They're going to have all of this information. Then they're going to talk to you. What did you recognize? What did you go through? Were you there? Do you have any photographs you can show me? They're going to take all this information and go room to room with their own camera, with their own measuring device, with moisture meters. They're going to investigate it down to every single room of your home. Take their time, see everything. Look at cracks in, if you've got window situations where your window, and you say, hey, you know, they'll point out inconsistencies that they may see. Was that there before? How does your doorways? How's the door lining up? You're seeing gaps. Was that like that before? You're going to ask questions of the homeowner. The estimator is going to ask questions of every homeowner. What did they see? They want your input. They want to know what you knew beforehand and how that's changed. That's very important in an estimator's role. We take all that information, we put it down. If you have a contractor that you've already relied on that has written you an estimate and thinks this is what the damages are, he's going to take that information as well and put it into the program that they're familiar with, that they know the insurance companies are also familiar with, and they're going to make sure they put everything down, that there's nothing missed in that whole process, so we do not leave any unanswered items. They're going to go and do this process room to room, every bit of the house. If the engineering report says some structural damage, there's concrete, or if the house has been shifted off its pilings a little bit, they're going to know what they need to do in order to get that back up through the engineer's recommendations, how they're going to get that house shored back up to where it needs to be. One of the most important things from an estimator standpoint would be what an estimator really needs to do. Don't show up when uninformed people are at the residence. Make sure you're there at the property when the homeowner was there, when the person who was there during the storm. Don't have a neighbor let an estimator just run through your house real quick because he needs to get in there and get out real quick because he's got so much other stuff to do. You make sure they take the time to give your house and your situation the attention that they would want to give themselves or their own family. One of the most important reasons you need a very good, thorough estimator. He is going to have all the tools. He's going to have all the information he needs to go through your house and properly quantify what it's going to take to put your house back together. They can make sure they're listening to you, make sure they're looking at everything. There can be an example where there could be a supporting beam and some cracking around it. If they don't know what to look for, they're not going to recognize why it's there. Go through the engineering report. The engineer will, detail that out. He'll have in there, hey, there's a crack up here or there. Read that. Oh, now I understand. Now I know what it's going to take to fix this. Now I know why that's there. There's several situations where estimators will go out and they will have all the reports in front of them. They'll have all the information they need to quantify it to the estimate. But you'll always find more. It's not going to be structural, it may not be the glazing, but you're going to find other telltale signs of damage that a good estimator will find, because he's going to take every wall, every piece, top, middle, bottom, and work the whole room the same way, room to room. They're not going to miss a thing. There's some folks where I can remember situations going to some person's condominium. Oh no, I don't have any damage. Okay, I do this all the time. I've done it for years and years. I'll go in their home. I'll start doing my thing, looking around. Move a curtain out of the way. Ma'am, did you know this? Oh my goodness, I never saw that. Folks live in their homes. They look through windows. They sometimes don't look at the little things that make up pieces of homes or pieces of windows or pieces of baseboards or floors. It's the little things that a good estimator would look for. No matter what information they have in their hand, they're going to look further. For you to maximize your claim, what you need a good estimator for, when the insurance company comes out there, they have a lot of work to do. They are got pressure like crazy. So they're looking to get in and get out in a timely manner to help everybody as much as they can. What I would suggest you do is get yourself an estimator. Have that person with the insurance adjuster on your site. If the insurance professional doesn't have the information, make sure that estimator has the information from a professional engineer, from a professional glazing firm. Have them be armed with all that. That way they can walk side by side with that insurance representative and show them and make sure they understand it, because it may not be the most popular thing, but this is about your claim and putting your house back to the way it was before the storm. It's not about anything else. That's it. There are situations where an agreement cannot be made between yourself and your representatives or an insurance company and their representatives. When that happens, basically an umpire, a neutral third party, is selected. They've got experience negotiating these kind of situations on several different aspects, hurricanes, floods, or what have you in the past. So basically they sit down, they present their case to the umpire, who's usually sometimes retired judges, sometimes engineers that have vast experience in the hurricane arena or storm damage arena. The case is put together. That umpire can have consultants with them as well to help them make their determination. Is it a cost issue that we're worrying about? Is it a causational issue are we worrying about? What is the issue that needs to be moderated or mediated down for the umpire? If it's just a money thing where someone's saying this roof is worth $40,000, this roof is worth $60,000, the umpire is going to get there, he's going to make the decision, he'll make the informed decision, he'll call people that he knows, they'll tell him this is what it is, that umpire will make his ruling, and that is it. All you need is the umpire's signature and one of the two parties to sign, and that's a binding agreement right there.